Welcome back to Groovy Egg's Farm. I am Jeff. Today was Saturday. It was only about 50 degrees. Had some rain this morning, but I was still outside doing some work getting these brooders ready for baby chicks because they have already started hatching. Here we go. The very first baby chick hatched in 2023, and I caught it on video. I wish I could get better video of this, but yeah, maybe someday in the future. There you go, that blue egg on the left just cracked open. It's gonna pop out of there any second now. That is one of my white and true blues from my silver duckwing flock, and you can also see some brown eggs in the background there. Those are my blue black splash copper marans. I can hatch these all in the same incubator because the baby chicks don't look alike. The Morans will all be blue, black, or white splash with feathered legs. And the white and true blues, none of them will have feathered legs. And they will all be the chipmunk racing stripe variety. Those are the baby chicks from the duckwings. And not all white and true blues hatch out but those do, the ones that I've been working on for a few years. So yeah, the first baby chick hatched out, and they're not due to start hatching. They're not due to hatch until tomorrow. But typically, with my white and true blues, they'll start a day early. And while I've got you here, I'm gonna give some tips on hatching eggs. I often get asked a lot, "Oh, my egg pipped, and then they never finished hatching." So, you know, what can I do to prevent that in the future? Well, the number one reason why an egg would pip and then not finish hatching is they were not turned often enough. That's why incubators come with turners, is that the embryo can get stuck to the side of the shell. And it'll go ahead and develop fully, but it's stuck to the side of the shell. Then when it comes time to hatch, it can only make one little pip. And then what they need to do is they need to swivel around in that egg and pip all the way around the top of it so they can bust out of the eggshell. So the number one reason why you get an egg that pips but doesn't finish hatching is it wasn't turned. You know, maybe you're waiting a week before you put it in the incubator. Well, when you're sitting on those eggs waiting to stick them in the incubator, you still need to turn them. It's probably best to lay them, you know, flat on their side, and then, you know, a few times a day, roll them around. If not, put them in an egg carton, but tilt the egg carton one way and then another way and then another way. Do that 2 or 3 times a day. Some people go ahead and put them in the incubator or in the turner without turning the incubator on, and that way they'll be rotating, you know, they're going back and forth, or they're rolling on the side, whatever. Number one reason why they pip and don't hatch is they were not turned enough. They weren't turned at all, and the embryo got stuck to the side of the egg. But there's all kinds of reasons. That's not the only reason. Another reason is opening the incubator after that first pip. When you open the incubator, you're gonna change the humidity, the temperature, and the pressure in there. And so there's a membrane in between the egg shell and the baby chick, and that membrane will shrink around the baby chick if you open that incubator during lockdown. And then that also prevents the baby chick from rotating around in the egg and getting out. So that's another reason, would be opening the incubator after they've already started pipping. You know, some people get away with that. Yeah, I've only been doing this for a few years. This is all I know. Another reason why they might not hatch all the way would be genetic defects. They might be able to pip, and maybe they've got some type of defect where they can't swivel around in that egg and finish hatching. So some people will help them out, some people don't. They just, you know, survival of the fittest kind of thing. And I've done both ways. Sometimes I help them, sometimes I don't. I always wait until the majority have hatched, until I open that incubator, because of that shrink wrap problem. If you open it to help one out, you might be hurting the next 10 that are coming along due to hatch. So, all right, this is my hatch so far. That first one pipped and popped out, and I've got another one that's going to pop out here in a minute. But yeah, today's Saturday. Sunday was hatch day, so I've had 3 Whiting True Blues have hatched so far. A couple other reasons why they might fully develop but never make it out of the egg is humidity problems. If your humidity is too high, they can't breathe. Once they're ready to come out. If the humidity is too low, that membrane sticks to them, so they can't move around in the egg to get out. So humidity levels, either too high or too low, can cause hatching problems. I like, for the first 18 days, I like it around 30%, 30 to 50% humidity using my gauge. Yours is probably going to be different. And then on hatch day, or lockdown day, day 18, I usually up it over 50% humidity, and 50 to 60%. I don't like it going over 60% humidity. I think you'll also find different breeds, like the Morans have thicker shells, and that can be a problem with hatching eggs. There's no surefire way to get a 100% hatch rate. So, just keep going. You can spend thousands of dollars on incubators, or you can spend, $50 on an incubator and get the same results. So it's just, it's a trial and error type deal. And here you can see how they swivel around in that egg and make they pip all the way around it so they can push out the top of that egg and get out of it. And this is the second chick hatching in 2023 here at Groovy Eggs Farm. This is another Whiting True Blue of the silver duckwing feather color variety. But yeah, if they can't swivel around in there, then they can make one small hole, but they can't keep going on around the egg, so they can bust out the top of it. Oh yeah, I hear baby chicks chirping back there right now. So usually when they first come out of their eggs, they are chirping like crazy, and then they calm down after a couple minutes. So I can be sitting here on my computer and I can hear, sounds like another one just hatched, and sure enough, I'll go over there often enough and there'll be another one out of the egg. So yeah, I've got 38 eggs due to hatch tomorrow. I'm not, if I get half of those that hatch, I will be happy. The Moran's eggs, the dark brown ones, are a lot harder to candle and see how they are developing. The blue ones you can see through pretty well, but that dark brown makes it harder. So I'm not exactly sure on the Moran's, how successful and how many of those were developing. But we'll get there soon enough. Okay, I think that's going to be all for this video on a Saturday night. Just a quick one to show you I've got some baby chicks hatching, and throw out a few tips for those people trying to hatch eggs. Keep going. There's no you're never going to know 100% why you're not being successful, unless your power goes out for 3 days, and yeah, they didn't have enough heat over that time. But yeah, the best you can do is keep the humidity and the temperature constant and level, no big fluctuations one way or the other. That's another thing, is going from too low humidity to too high to too low to too high to too low. That can cause problems with hatching. So you want a consistent temperature and a consistent humidity through those first 18 days. Try not to disturb them very often. I do my candling usually once a week, and then after that I am leaving them alone to do what they can. And hey, if you've got broody hens, That's the best way to that's the best way to hatch eggs. Doesn't cost you anything in electricity, and you're letting the hens do all the work. But yeah, here's the second one. Um, yep, it spun all the way around inside the egg, and chewed a little hole all the way around it. Then they can push with their feet, and they pop out the top of that egg. So there we go. The first two baby chicks hatched here at Groovy Eggs Farm in 2020-23. Yeah, Grumpy, that's exciting. They're Whiting True Blues, and I've got somebody just waiting on them. I'm sure they're hoping more of them will hatch, but it is what it is. I'm getting there. So I think last night I figured out well, not anymore now that I've got some hatching, but I had 283 eggs in my incubators. And so yeah, it is coming up fast and furious here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. Take it easy, everybody.